Welcome back to my lovely HP community and the 5D collective. On this lovely 10/11, let's talk about some more of those messages that came through. For those of you who are navigating healthy self-worth, other partnerships, you are completely aware of the difference between fantasy, lust, lower energies of the facades that are empty, and they are empty promises, and they also have a push-pull of dysregulation due to their embodying the insecurely attached version of their inner child. So they're not 100% yet into being a true self if they're not in a therapist room, for example. Okay, so empty promises, void, and push-pull are something that you can immediately identify because of the awareness of how true love works. So consistent communication, and that's why we were talking about the endings of what was from yesterday for those who navigate the 5D frequency. Those people are the ones who resonate with IHP content and with anything that is mindfulness and spirituality, because they're putting it into practice. Your mental, emotional, and physical bodies are yours, the body of you, and you don't have any of this torture that you want to navigate life through. Okay, so you instead have what is your own embodiment of your heart and body, and you know self-attunement, self-regulation, healthy ways. And so you know how to accept who you are and bring forth authenticity. So once again, your soul contract to your community is that you get to be you. And as we discussed in our previous messages, you are getting to bring that. And today you have some messages and some very fun events. Now, when we notice facades, you will notice their leaders. Their leaders are all of the Peter Pans, is what I call them. They give you quite interesting, to say the least, distorted messages, but their distorted messages serve the insecurely attached individual, who can also involve a disorganized individual that is not with a Patrick Tiahan or a Terry Real, with good therapists to reclaim their selves, with a Pat Ogden, with a Bezel Vanderkolk. Okay, so they're not interested in doing the journey to get their inner child into being an adult, and then to be able to allow emotions to be felt deeply with the now prefrontal cortex. They're optimized, like mine and yours, human embodiment. Okay, so dysregulation is something you can work yourself out of, and you can get out of the unkind business of that, which is from yesterday's old news. Today we have new news, which is that all of trauma and personality disorders, with the best foot forward of every person who will want, they can get out of it. And with that, nobody tests anybody when it comes to being people who want to be lovers. And so here I saw this person who, as always, with their twin flame stuff, whether it's a coach or not, they bring forth lust, fantasy, push-pull, the pseudo-aliveness of a person who needs a good therapist, like Terry Real. This is what your divine masculine is looking for in the final stages just before final twin flame reunion. Or someone else will also tell you how you will have no emotions whatsoever with your twin flame. Others will tell you that you end up not being with your twin flame, and that you're going to have. So that part of this journey is not in any way, shape, or form what happens when you are a 5D frequency individual. So I'm going to bring it to you, because you don't do fantasy. You don't make empty promises. You're not a lower energy or a facade person who has unresolved attachment wounds and whatever else from home. Okay, so the people, it doesn't have to be you have a twin flame or not. People who are here at IHP, you know, true love is consistency. And the nice thing is that our lovely good therapists are informing the adolescents of a lot of information. So our families, our societies, our entire globe is not in trouble because we have pronouns and polyamory, or monoamory and polyamory, and we have different ideas of what we are representing or not. Okay, we are in the situation we're in because of rigid, closed-minded, adaptive child part people, the facades, who bring forth their, in fact, little boxing gloves, and they have a way that they create in and out groups like the flat earthers, and then they don't know how to be having fun with each other. Some do, some don't. So the point, though, is that when you're navigating expansion, you're consistently seeing we evolve, and we are evolving. So what we're noticing is that right now we have information. Twin flames, you don't go through tragedy necessarily at all. If you do, it's because there's a push-pull of dysregulation, which means the low self-esteem indirect communicator, Elsa journey with mantles, and that's all people who can make use of a good therapist to get themselves into a securely attached self. And then talk about love, because that's the only time they'll be able to show up and not make fake, empty promises and come in and out of each other's lives. Okay, so the fantasy, lust, low energy of facades is going to be something that, because you're going to do one thing, then you're not going to do anything. And your immediate inconsistency is going to be an empty promise, you promise you didn't keep, and a dysregulated coming in and out of communication. So nobody's going to be confused. We're also not going to be heartbroken. It's my life and it's now or never. So the part of what expansion is, nobody is being weighed down by the emotion of sadness, anger, fear, disgust, surprise, happiness, because you know how to live mindfully and spiritually. That's why you're here at IHP. And so again, with this comes true loving partnerships and expansion of emotionally, mentally, and physically intelligent people who know that Lucifer would laugh at every person who uses his name, because all of the people who need someone like a therapist are using the name on purpose because they don't know how to disengage from dysregulated embodiment and push-pull torture chamber, shame fucking, shame drinking, shame drugging, and shame everything. And they like to talk about Lucifer to be blamed versus, nope, it's two things. We got facade people speaking and harnessing those pain points like a hawk with their descriptions. We also have people say it's fucking boring to be well-being, and people say I found it hard to believe them first 2 years of life. So we have deflection of the attachment trauma education. We also have scientists chasing each other down the hallway. So I mean, here's the fun part of a 5D collective is we know it's all okay. We've done it before. You know, it's not the free love that is creating, again, disruption. What it is that people don't know how to be securely attached. It's once you know how to be yourself that you're going to be a stable person because you have what is called secure attachment. So the part of why yoga is good for you, it's a way to produce a chemistry of blissfulness. Once you are blissful by your own nature, you can deal with outside situations effortlessly, yes. But it's not only yoga. Yoga is a portfolio of ventral vagal toning exercises. Your mindset and your mind. If we want stability in our family, society, nation, and the world, we need to create stability in the individual human being. And how you use your mind is going to be what the story is, right? Okay, so if you have, for example, fear, anger, misery, frustration, depression, and despair, that's because you haven't taken charge of your mind. And I was having a fun time with Bezel van der Kolk. Where is he? He had a quote today. It was something along the lines of... the mind blocks the body. So I'm thinking him and his colleague are playing with words and they're really fun. Okay, anyways, your mind and your body for the 5D collective work together, which is why we are not thinking of being tested by anyone. Nobody tests in the love game. It's we talk in each other's faces and consistently. So you're going to know a facade when you see one because they make empty promises and their push-pull is going to be dysregulated. But again, Pacha knows how to keep his promise because Pacha is the 5D collective. So we are not going to shame, blame, or fault or do any of the revenge stuff with anyone who needs a good therapist. And when it comes to the people who choose the human suffering love narrative, well, they're keeping that other end of the spectrum. We get to keep the bliss, delight, and keep trying to share, hey, your body's trying to get back here. So if you do want, it may be right, I may be crazy, but I'm a good lunatic because I don't do any unsafe business with anything. I do the moderation and the true, intelligent, fun people. So again, come back for more if you'd like. We will, in the meantime, enjoy our 10-11 portal, and we will be back with more.